Hello everyone, let's have more news about the Lakers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Richard Mills' new timepiece is fit for a king, King James that is. LeBron James just teamed up with the Swiss watchmaker to create a new iteration of its RM6501 timepiece. Limited to just 150 watches, the RM6501 split seconds chronograph LeBron James takes its design cues from the Los Angeles Lakers' signature colors and is priced at a cool $405,040. James, who debuted the timepiece at Fanatics Fest last week, worked directly with the Richard Mille team to bring the creation to life. The star forward chose to embrace his current theme, giving the new watch a bright yellow strap that pays homage to the Lakers' bright hues, as well as a yellow quartz TPT middle case, a hallmark of the brand. Hypebeast reported. The yellow coloring continues on the crown, which is also marked with touches of green. As for the LA team's purple tones, that can be seen in the purple hour marker ring, and if you flip the watch over on James's signature etched on the caseback. Other bold pops of teal make their mark on the chronograph dial markers. Of course, underneath all of James's special touches is the craft that goes into Richard Mille's RM6501 split seconds chronograph. The brand's most complicated creation made its debut back in 2020, in the highly sophisticated piece with over 600 components took 5 years to create. The sporty timepiece offers up a skeletonized automatic winding caliber RMAC4 with the hours, minutes, and seconds at 6 o'clock, a split seconds chronograph with a 30-minute counter at 3 o'clock and a 12-hour counter at 9 o'clock. The intricate watch also operates at 5 Hz, or 36,000 vibrations per hour. The new RM6501 split seconds chronograph LeBron James is available at Richard Mille boutiques globally if you can get your hands on it. Now let's go to another video. Don't forget to leave a like.
Compete with each other. Everybody's trying to manipulate the market through the media, and all kinds of things are going on. We're going to try to read between the lines just a little bit. So this is via Dan Wojcicki of The Athletic. Earlier today had this out there. Said the talk at the start of the Lakers offseason was that Daniel Gafford and Nick Claxton were the two players who made the most sense. There just remains so much league-wide skepticism that the Mavs would potentially make another trade with the Lakers after the open revolt of the fan base following the Doncic deal. And so in terms of Daniel Gafford, I guess first and foremost, Daniel Gafford did sign an extension with the Dallas Mavericks, or is planning to. I don't know if he's actually put pen to paper, but been announced extension getting done with the Dallas Mavericks. However, he is getting an extension that is just low enough to where he is still immediately trade eligible. He could still be traded by the Mavs. Now, would the Mavs actually do a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers? I think Wojcicki's point here is a fair one. The Mavs would most likely have to clearly win a trade in order to do a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, because it would be a tough sell for their fans. So I would not expect the Lakers to land Daniel Gafford. You never say never in the NBA. Obviously, Luka Doncic is a Laker. You never say never in the NBA, but would not anticipate Daniel Gafford landing with the Lakers, but nonetheless, another big on the market. That's a good thing for LA, and he is still trade eligible right now. The Mavs, for their part, are telling everybody who will listen that they really love him. They don't want to trade him, blah, 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 blah. Is it real? No. There's a reason why you sign him to a contract that specifically will allow him to still be traded right now. This is exactly what the Mavs should be putting out there, though, that they're not in any rush to trade Daniel Gafford as they do what they can to try to maintain leverage. But this is also interesting when we're talking about leverage. Nick Claxton isn't thought of as a shoo-in as the answer at the center position for the Lakers. And if he costs you your best trade package, is it a gamble worth doing? So when we talk about the Lakers' best trade package, what could Dan Wojcicki be talking about there in terms of what the Lakers could offer? Well, we're probably talking about something somewhat similar in terms of the value pieces going out to the Mark Williams trade that obviously got rescinded. And that would be some combination of Dalton Connect, the 2031 first round pick that the Lakers have to offer. Maybe there's a pick swap or two in there. Those would be the primary pieces of value that would be going out. Maybe the Nets would have interest in Rui Hachimura. Otherwise, we'd be talking about attaching expiring contracts as well, because Dalton Connect doesn't get there salary-wise. That was the nice thing about the Mark Williams trade, is that Williams makes so little that it was easy to just do Dalton Connect and Cam Reddish, and boom, you're done. That's it. Salary-wise, you've got it covered. Claxton, though, is making $25 million this coming season. So a bit more difficult to try to work out a trade for him and make the math work. Not necessarily prohibitive, because you can, again, do Connect, Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleba. There you go. Maybe one of those guys gets replaced, Maxi or Gabe, with Jared Vanderbilt. Like, you could still get there to $25 million, but a bit more difficult to do it than certainly the Mark Williams trade. But the point is that you're giving up probably first-round draft capital, probably Dalton Connect, plus you're giving up some of your expirings in that deal, and then you're getting Nick Claxton. So you have to be pretty sure that Nick Claxton is that guy, is the guy that's going to be your long-term center. And if you're not sure about that, if this is correct from Dan Wojcicki that he isn't a shoe-in to be the answer at the center position, well, then is that something you're really willing to do? Or do you want to start to look elsewhere? But again, as I said, it's lying season. And right now, whether or not this is actually true, the Lakers might think the world of Claxton. The Lakers could think that Nick Claxton is the guy that they want to be their starting center for the next 5+ years. That's a lifetime in the NBA world. And I'm not saying they do, but if they did, this would still be what they'd want to say. They would still want to say that he's not a shoe-in at the position. We're not really sure if we really want him. I don't know. That's kind of a lot, right? You don't want to be over eager. The Lakers are in a position where they're already going to be fighting to try to develop any kind of leverage out there on the trade market. Why? Because everyone knows that the Lakers need a center. Everybody. And the Lakers already showed their cards in the Mark Williams trade in terms of what they were willing to give up, being Dalton Connect, a future first-round pick, plus a pick swap in terms of valuable pieces leaving the Lakers. So that puts Rob Pelinka at a leverage disadvantage. So you want to have information out there trying to make everyone think that you're not sold on a lot of players, that maybe you're not in any hurry, similar to what the Mavs are doing with Daniel Gafford. Oh yeah, the Mavs say we just so happen to sign him to the exact extension that would allow him to be trade eligible right now and not 6 months from now. Oh, but no, that's just coincidence. We're definitely not trading him. It's leverage. That's what this is. So am I saying the Lakers are out on Nick Claxton? No. And this is also a reasonable take. The Lakers could very well think this about Nick Claxton and say he's 215 pounds. We don't know if we want to give up everything in order to get him. But my point is that even if they were all in on Nick Claxton, this is what they need to be putting out there publicly. So that said, I do think that the Lakers are going to look at other options beyond just Nick Claxton. He is the name that we hear the most. He is the name that is probably the most available to get, but we'll see if the Lakers can reclaim any leverage and get a decent deal, particularly in a market that seems to be filled with teams that want centers. There's high demand. A number of teams are trying to get multiple bigs, and the Lakers are among them. So there's not a whole lot of centers out there as well. So look, Rob Pelinka has his work cut out for him, but this is why he gets paid the big bucks, right? Otherwise, it's basically the same names that have been out there for months, a list of players who come with red flags, unattainable price tags, and poor on-court fits. Red flags would be guys like, say, Kristaps Porzingis, who gets mentioned here down below. Players like that, Robert Williams, obviously he's spent a lot of time injured. Guys that are unattainable in terms of price tag, maybe that's Walker Kessler, if we want to add a name to that. Poor on-court fits could be guys like Jonas Valanciunas, Jakob Poeltl. I like Jakob Poeltl a lot, but is he that bouncy lob threat Luke is looking for? No. Is he that three-point shooter that you're looking for to space the floor? No. So there's some challenges there for the Lakers. And then the last bit here, I did a video just a little bit ago about Kristaps Porzingis because there was a report that there were 10 to 12 teams interested in Porzingis, and the Lakers were among them. The Hawks were another team. There were a few others that we named. Now, why would that be out? And then at the same time, another Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis pairing, there's no indication the Lakers want to see that happen. Well, it's always possible that both things are true. And that, did the Lakers inquire about Porzingis? Probably. I would imagine if Rob Pelinka is doing his job, he's inquiring about every big out there just to see what the price is and all of that. Does that mean the conversation went very far? Does that mean he's likely to wind up a Laker? Not necessarily. So could it be true the Lakers inquired about Kristaps Porzingis, while also true that there's no indication that the Lakers are looking to pair Porzingis and Luka again, who already teamed up in Dallas a few years ago? Yeah, that could also be factually true. Again, and I mentioned in the video I recorded earlier, I view Porzingis as like a fallback. Like you're going to him if you strike out on a number of other players. And even then, it's only if you're getting the right deal that you're looking for. And based on the deal that the Celtics got from the Blazers last night, oh my goodness, Portland, what are you doing? I would imagine the Lakers aren't going to be willing to pay that kind of price to get Kristaps Porzingis. But the other thing that's going on right now is the whole John Collins thing. And Tony Jones, who covers the Utah Jazz, did say that the Lakers like John Collins quite a bit. So we'll see what happens there. Mark Stein last night reported, and I talked about it on the live show we did. Mark Stein reported last night that the Lakers' interest in Collins was a mischaracterization. Essentially, my take from it was that it was probably just a game of telephone where the Lakers were interested. The wires got crossed. The Lakers were interested in Walker Kessler. They're talking about a Utah Jazz big. Somehow that gets shifted to a target of John Collins. I buy what Mark Stein is saying as a primarily, he's a national guy, but primarily Dallas, right, is where he's at. For Mark Stein to say the Lakers wanting John Collins was mischaracterization versus Tony Jones, who covers the Jazz, to say, oh, no, the Lakers are totally interested in John Collins. What Stein is saying, to me, has the ring of truth in that situation. And I like John Collins a lot. I just think he doesn't make sense for the Lakers. He's not really a fit in that his best position he's going to defend is the 4. He's not a good defender to begin with. The Lakers, they've got a lot of guys that kind of fill that role that John Collins would be in. So unless there's something significant happening to the rest of the roster, he doesn't really make sense to me as a target for the Lakers. So there's that. But then on top of that, Tony Jones, who covers the Jazz, probably going to, and by the way, he does a good job, don't get me wrong, but probably talking to Jazz sources. Are they going to say teams are interested in, are they going to say the Lakers are interested in John Collins? Yeah, they're probably going to want that out there versus Mark Stein, a national guy, saying, the Lakers aren't really that interested in John Collins. That to me has more of the ring of truth, but we will see. We will see how this all plays out. And that's why sometimes you get competing sources on things. It's all where the information is coming from and who wants what out there. So we try to read between the lines on some of this stuff and try to get a sense of where things are coming from. Sometimes two teams can both be telling the complete truth about a situation and just they view things through a different lens. And so the way they see it can be different than another team. And it sounds like there's conflicting information coming out. So all of this is to say, yes, hopefully the Lakers will be involved here. I know it can be frustrating for Lakers fans to see other teams making moves right now. The Wizards, the Pelicans are making moves, the Celtics, the Blazers. We already saw the Houston Rockets, the Phoenix Suns make a move, the Magic with the Desmond Bane trade with Memphis Grizzlies. There's been a lot of trade activity already. Does this mean the Lakers are just going to sit out? I know people are already getting impatient. We're not even to the draft yet. We are, 24 hours away almost, a little bit more than that away from the NBA draft. Like the offseason is really just getting started. Now, that said, I understand too why Lakers fans might be a little sensitive to this situation, given that the Lakers sat out last summer. They drafted and that was it. They did nothing else. So I understand the frustration that's out there. And everybody wants to see the Lakers make a move and make a good move. But again, a lot of trade activity right now, and we'll just have to wait to see if the Lakers can ultimately pull the trigger on something. In the meantime, of course, we'll stay up to date on all the latest rumors, what we're hearing about the Lakers, who it is that they're after, what they're willing to give up, and all of that. So make sure you do subscribe right here to the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. Till next time, everybody, see ya and stay safe.
Right, especially with LeBron on the Lakers. And 3, I don't even think the Lakers would, if Bam Adebayo became on the market, he would be sought after. Teams would want Bam Adebayo. And the Lakers just don't have the assets. I mean, you even have teams, OKC could be like, hey, we want him. San Antonio, want him. Houston could still be like, hey, let's go get Bam Adebayo and put him next to, Amen, Katie, and a Şengün, right? And trade a bunch of young guys, be like, hey, here's more foundation people, right? Like, so again, you look at the situation. Lakers is Austin Reeves, a first, and Dalton Connect as like the core package. You throw in a Rui Hachimura and then maybe like a Shake Milton or whatever to get to the finances, right? Is that enough to convince them to trade Bam Adebayo to you? I don't think so. I don't. Right? Stranger things have happened. You never know. Maybe Bam kind of causes a little ruckus and a stir and says like, hey, I only want to go to the Lakers. I want to go play with Luka and LeBron. Maybe that's something. Even if he does, I still think teams would still go trade for him. I still think Miami would look to trade him. I could even see Miami maybe taking a slightly worse offer in order to not have to trade him to the Lakers. Because again, it's not like the Lakers have this like plethora. If they had like multiple picks, all right, if it was like, hey, here's Reeves, Connect, and 3 or 4 firsts, right? Rui Hachimura for salary fellow, then yeah, maybe I could see them getting that move. But I don't think they have enough. What are they going to do? Oh, here's, Connect, Reeves, maybe you could turn guys in, right? Like maybe you could turn Reeves into multiple firsts, right? What is his value, especially after the Bam trade? Maybe you could turn him into, because you have to trade him anyway, right? So maybe you could turn him into like 3 first-round picks, and now you have 4 firsts with Dalton Connect, Rui, and then, you add in, Maxi Kleba and something, and now you can go get, for Bam Adebayo, sure. That could be something. So maybe the Lakers have to get creative in how they do that. But also if they want Austin Reeves, right? What does Miami want and looking for in a Bam trade? Are they looking for a bunch of young players? Are they looking for a bunch of assets and picks, right? Like you got to find out what that is. But look, if there is a way to get Bam Adebayo, you go get Bam Adebayo. Right? It's that simple. He's a guy that gives you everything you need. Gives you offensive versatility, gives you that defensive presence, right? Gives you shot blocker. He was playing more 4 because of Khalil Ware, but there was some awkwardness to that, right? He is a guy that because he's played 5 basically his entire career, that he is most comfortable at the 5, but you saw his versatility and his ability to slot in and play the 4 also. So I like that ability to where if you do get another big, which you'd still need to get another big, right? Like let's say you go and get a, Clint Capella. Right. Well, if you go get a Bam Adebayo, right? Well, you can start Bam and LeBron as your front court, and then at times go with like Bam Adebayo and like a Clint Capella, because Bam Adebayo, particularly this season, showed his ability to stretch the floor, knock down the 3 ball with some more consistency. Kind of fits the timeline and the future. It's a guy you'd have for the next 6+ years, right? So kind of gives you that ability and that capability, versatile defender, guy that can protect the rim, defend in space, defend the pick and roll. He's basically, a souped up Nick Claxton, right? Which the Lakers are really interested in, right? He's a guy that gives you that defensive array, defensive versatility, but also gives you the offense that Nick Claxton just doesn't give you, right? Where Nick Claxton, the reason so many people are so high on Nick Claxton is his defensive versatility, his ability to, defend multiple positions, defend in space, block, protect the rim, all of that. And Bam Adebayo actually is a good rebounder. Like one of the things with like Jaren Jackson Jr. I've talked about. Although, if I'm being honest, I probably prefer Jaren Jackson Jr., but right, one of the things and concerns with Jaren Jackson Jr. is the lack of rebounding. He's not this like excellent rebounder, where Bam is a guy that go get you, 10 rebounds a game. So he can rebound, defend, hit shots. He wouldn't be self-reliant on Luka, which is good, where like a Nick Claxton is going to be very reliant on Luka to generate offense for him, which is fine. That's what Luka likes to do. And that guy is always a threat. But Bam is a guy that when Luka's off the court, right, on the bench, or if he gets the night off or whatever, Bam is a guy that can just go get you buckets, right? He can initiate the offense, run the offense a little bit, right? He gives you that versatility that as far as the big man goes, that we just don't really have, that we really lack right now, which I think would be excellent, right? You look at a guy like a Bam Adebayo and a Triple J. Like the reason I like those guys, like those are kind of the closest things you could get to adding like an Anthony Davis to this team. Obviously, neither of those guys are Anthony Davis, but again, just the versatility on both sides of the basketball, I really like. But again, I think it's very unlikely that the Lakers land a Bam Adebayo. But if you can get him, then you get him. Right? Now, he isn't a true 7-footer. That's something that's important to keep in mind. He is 6'9". He is 255, which is good. So he's got good size, good strength, good weight. But he is 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. So for those that are like, I really want a true 7-footer, you got to keep that in mind that he's not really a true 7-footer, but he's fine. Again, he'd be more than enough. He'd be excellent. Also, he wouldn't have to be your best or second best player, which is a big thing, right? Like he would be your third option. Right? So Bam and Jimmy Butler were able to get to multiple finals with Bam as their second best player. What does he look like when he's your third best player behind LeBron and Luka Doncic? Well, I guess Luka and LeBron, right? But look at what he's done, right? Another good thing is he plays. That's very important, right? from the start of his career, 69 games, 82 games, 72 games, 64 games, right? 56 games, not great, but 75, 71, 78. So he's had 2 seasons in which he's had under 65 games. Other than that, he's basically been a 70 plus game a night guy, which is great. You want, right? Best ability is availability. And Bam is a guy that is available. But 78 games played, 78 games started last year, 34.3 minutes per game. Took 14.3 field goal attempts per game, shot 48.5% from the floor. So good thing is he is a guy that for his career is an 11, right? The last 3 seasons he shot basically 14 to 15 field goals a game, 13 in 2021, 2022, right? So reason I bring that up, and I think that that's important, is because that's probably roughly what he's going to get on a Laker team that has Luka and LeBron. Right, so you got to keep that in mind. He's not going to get 20 field goal attempts per game. So if he's a guy that's getting 20 on one team, comes to Lakers, you got to keep in mind his production is going to go down because he's only getting X amount of shots. Well, good thing is I don't think his production would go down because I think he'd get roughly the same amount of attempts, right? You look at Austin Reeves' attempts. If you trade Austin Reeves to get Bam, Bam's probably getting close, if not as much or more than that. So just things to kind of keep in mind. But 48.5% from the field on those 14 attempts. He shot 35.7% from three-point range, so just under 36%, but on 2.8 attempts, which is by far, and I mean by far, the most attempts he's ever taken, right? So every season, he has taken either 0.1 or 0.2, except for the 2023-2024 season. So not last season, but the previous season. But he took 0.6 attempts. He did shoot 35.7%. Well, he ended up going from 0.6 attempts to 2.8 attempts, shot 35.7%, which was the same as the previous year on 0.6 attempts. Reason that that's important is because you see a lot of guys that on 0.6 attempts, they're 35, 36%, but on 2 attempts, they're 18%. No, he was very good shooting the 3 ball for a big man, so he gives you the floor spacing ability, which is good. 2-point range, 51.7% on 11.4 attempts. EFG of 52.1%. Free throw percentage, 76.5%, so good free throw shooter. He is a career 75.6%. 9.6 rebounds. He is a career 9 rebound a game guy, but 9.6 rebounds, including 2.4 offensive rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.3 steals, just under a full block, and 18.1 points per game. So again, if you can get Bam Adebayo, go get Bam Adebayo. I think realistically, the Lakers are probably not going to be able to get him. But if there is a way, there is a path to acquire him, go get him, right? Because that also would give you a guy alongside Luka in a...
The Los Angeles Lakers may be gearing up for another blockbuster trade, with reports swirling around their interest in acquiring Defensive Player of the Year winner Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies. After sending Desmond Bane to Orlando in a massive deal, Memphis appears to be towing the line between retooling and full-scale rebuilding, and the Lakers, in desperate need of a reliable two-way center, are ready to pounce. Los Angeles Lakers receive Jaren Jackson Jr., Memphis Grizzlies receive Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht, Maxi Kleber 2031, Los Angeles Lakers first-round pick. According to NBA insider Bailey Bassett, a proposed trade would send Jackson Jr. to Los Angeles in exchange for Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht, Maxi Kleber, and a 2031 first-round pick. With LeBron James and Luka Doncic at the helm, the Lakers have a glaring void at center after trading Anthony Davis to Dallas earlier this year. They were forced to rely on patchwork lineups featuring Jackson Hayes, Jared Vanderbilt, and Rui Hachimura during the playoffs, none of whom could provide the interior defense, rim protection, or scoring that Jackson Jr. brings. Jaren Jackson Jr. is not just a stopgap big man. He averaged 22.2 points, 5.6 rebounds, 2.0 assists, 1.2 steals, and 1.5 blocks during the 2024-25 season. He shot 37.5% from three-point range and has emerged as a legitimate scoring threat inside and out. He's also just 2 seasons removed from leading the league in blocks and winning Defensive Player of the Year. Adding him would give the Lakers the modern stretch big they desperately need and elevate them into serious contention. From Memphis' perspective, the deal is tempting, but not a slam dunk. After the Bane trade netted 4 first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 rotation-ready players, the bar for moving a franchise cornerstone like Jackson is sky high. And you, fan, what do you think about Jaren Jackson Jr.'s situation? Leave your opinion in the comments. Hello everyone, let's have more news about the Lakers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Alex Caruso drew attention for a comment he made about his former team after the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals on Sunday night, but the veteran guard insists it was the booze talking. Caruso played 32 minutes off the bench and had 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals in the Thunder's 103-91 win over the Pacers in Game 7 at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Okla. The NBA title is the second of Caruso's career, as he also won one with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2020. During his post-game press conference, Caruso was asked how the Thunder's title run compares to the one he was part of with LA 5 years ago. The 31-year-old joked that he now has a real championship, which was a reference to the 2020 NBA playoffs being held in a bubble in Orlando. Caruso was really taking a shot at those who claim the Lakers' 2020 title deserves an asterisk. However, many people interpreted the comment as a criticism of his former team. Caruso later wrote on X that he was being sarcastic and said he had already had 3 beers before his news conference. Caruso also said the championship he won with Oklahoma City was harder because of the gap in experience between the veteran-laden 2020 Lakers and the 2025 Thunder. None of that means Caruso was trying to devalue what the Lakers accomplished. He was a part of that team, so why would he want to criticize his own resume? As Caruso said, he was clearly being sarcastic. He was mocking those who tried to say LA's 2020 title was illegitimate. The 3 beers are probably what gave him the courage to blurt it out. Now let's go to another video. Don't forget to leave a like.